why would I have two stock upper control arms on the ground and a box that has paperwork and a nice thank you letter from... Oh, I got my package, guys. Look what came in the mail. These things are beautiful. Super, super strong looking. They're beautiful looking. They're serviceable. They fit perfectly. And as you can see here, I did end up getting the Heim joints for them instead of the rubber bushings. But I got my upper control arms today. And if you look side by side, I mean, it's insane how just different they look. The new ones look a lot smaller, but I mean, obviously they're dimensionally the same, but man, the build quality is perfect on them. They're nice. So a lot of people gave me a lot of shit on Instagram, because I decided not to rebuild these. So here's the thing. I know that you can buy replacement upper ball joints for these control arms. Things I've seen in the past, I've seen people press in new ones and them actually popping out or having any issues afterwards. Well, quite frankly, I don't want anything to deal with that. So for the past 10 years I've owned this car, I've gone through, I think, 2 sets of upper control arms, and I'll just go to Redline in Orlando. I'll buy a used set of NB upper control arms that have better ball joints, swap them in, I'm good to go. Now, I just decided now to upgrade while I needed them again. Thankfully, I was in a position to do so. So kind of a thing is I want to start going through and replacing the control arms. As far as the rear goes, I do already have aftermarket uppers. The lowers are stock, but seeing as the car is going to be swapped to a solid axle, hopefully next year, I really don't want to spend the $800 on my control arms for the rear. But the fronts I don't mind investing in because I'm keeping the front suspension style. So anywho, today, the plan is I'm going through the wheel wells. I'm going to add, you know, another couple P-clamps. I'm going to see if I can pull that bolt out and this bolt out and maybe just P-clamp there, and then I'll be good to go for these. So the goal is to tie this side up, which is pretty much there. On this side, and it's a little bit more hectic in here. I do already have like split loom on the wires, but I'm going to zip tie it all shut because there is more shit over here. I want to tie all these lines up to the subframe there. Secure kind of this mess. Yeah, that's the goal for right now, is I want to tie up all the wiring, just go under the car, make sure everything is bolted, everything is good for nut and bolt wise, and that. So thankfully I just went through, let me see if I can pull it up again. I just went through with the Fuel Tech. I plugged in the front wheel speed sensor for the very first time. Let's see, it might take a while. So I plugged in the front wheel speed sensor, and when I'm reading the Fuel Tech manual on how to wire the car and things like that, it's telling me that I need a pull-up resistor for the speed sensor on the wheel. Well, I just plugged it in for the first time and tested it, and I ran a data log since I couldn't be over there and look at the screen over here at the same time. And it actually shows that it worked. So here's the data logger, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little tiny line right there. So if I can actually, let me minimize the tune here. Hold on one sec. All right, so now we can see that little guy right there. All right, so if I put the cursor right here, you can see you have 2 different wheel speeds. The top one is wheel speed traction, which should be the rear drive tire, and the speed reference one, it will actually be the front wheels. So as you see here, I'm scrolling through and it's increasing 11, 11.5, 12, 12.5. So as I'm scrolling through the data log, I'm actually seeing that the front wheel is reading. So I'm excited. That means that I don't have to add that pull-up resistor. So I think I mentioned in the last video, I did purchase an air shifter for the car. Hopefully it's the right one. Basically all it is a little pogo stick that pokes the back of the shifter, and it works on the CO2, which I already have. I already have a Mac valve for the controller, the solenoid to control that. So all I needed was the RAM itself. So I figured, why not? I have an available output with the computer that I control that. I should be good to go. So Since I have a loom of wires that run through the car up there, basically what I need to do is I need to add the rear speed sensor wiring that goes back, and then I'm going to put the Mac valve probably here or here somewhere, but it's probably going to go there. I'm just going to have the line come up here, so it'd be pretty clean install. So I'm going to run a few more wires. That way the only thing left I got to do before like reassembling the interior is mount up the proportion valve still. I have to make the brake lines, the carpet can go in, and we can start turning this girl into a car again. So little tedious things I'm trying to work on now. So I gotta, like I said, I'm gonna tie up all the wiring up front. I'm going to run the wires up to the back. I'll probably mount the Mac valve and start going at it there, and then maybe start possibly running some brake lines tonight. So this is my first day off in like 2 weeks, so I don't necessarily want to work my ass off tonight, but I do just kind of want to chill and get some stuff done in the car. So good things. I'm excited. So I'm gonna work on a little bit more. I'll catch you guys a little bit. So here we are, hours later. To be completely honest, I didn't do anything I said I was gonna do in the fender wells. Like I said, I didn't really do anything. I mean, I put the suspension back together, but I didn't tie up the wires. But what I did do is I finally wired in the rear speed sensor. So you can see this little harness coming down through the chassis, plugs right in there, and then it goes over to my sensor ring like that. Now unfortunately it's pretty late at night right now, so I can't start the car and show you guys, but I did run a data log. That way I know the front and rear wheel speeds are working. And then also I just finished up wiring the air shifter. So obviously right there is my CO2 bottle. Now there's a T fitting right there. So one line goes to the boost controller, one line goes right here to this valve, and then this air line is going to run up to the back of the shifter right here. I'm just waiting on the air ram. So you can see I have the air hose here. So the cool part about the Fuel Tech is right now I'm doing output testing. So you see right there, it's set up as a shift light. So let's go ahead and hit the light. There we go. So now I know it is working. And then if I go to my settings, I'm going to go to shift light. Basically, I set it as a unique value. I don't know where the car is going to want to be shifted yet, so for now I just put 6700, and that's it. It works now. So now let me pull up the data logger. So here we go. This was the last data log that I did. I actually had the car running. So let's turn off some unnecessary stuff. No map sensor. I don't care about O2 sensor right now. Don't care about two-step. All I care about right now would be like, all I want to see is like RPM and wheel speed. I think that's all I really care to see. That way we can have a very minimal. Alright, so right here we have wheel speed traction and wheel speed reference. And then, yeah, so like you can see here. Alright, so now we pull up the data log. So you can see now this is about where the car starts to run. It fired up, it's about 1600, it settled down to about 800 RPM, okay? So now you can see here the wheel speed. The top one is traction wheel, so that means the rear wheel. So as you can see here now, it's doing about 18 miles per hour. So I found out here, let's go ahead. Let's pull up this part right here on the map, because I think this will show us the most we want to see. Actually, let's get past this, because that's point of starting. And then let's go all the way over here. All right, so now here, if I scroll through, we're just sitting at about 900 RPM, which is idling, right? So what I did is I actually had the e-brake up, so it showed 0 mile an hour. I clicked it in first gear, and first gear it idles at about 9 miles per hour. I shifted it, I put it in high gear, In high gear, it's about 18 mile an hour. It's in high gear. And then I ran to the front of the car to spin the front wheel, and you could see the 18, and then you could start seeing the green number underneath it. It started showing wheel speed. So it would say like 15 mile per hour. Right there. So basically the top number is rear wheel, the bottom number is front wheel. Now the car is set up for traction control, so you can actually read right here where it says like wheel slip and whatnot. So it actually tells you slip percentages, and I'm actually going to have a full traction control strategy. I can set up a table. Active traction control. So I can actually set up this whole map based off of throttle percentage and wheel speed slip percentage, and it will actually pull timing. So this is a full traction control setup. So I am super excited. So basically now I have all of my, everything electrically that I want in the car at this very moment is working. So now I can start bundling up the wire, tidying it up, and I want to put the carpet in the car and just start putting the car together. I am waiting on the air ram, so that'll be here hopefully next week or the week after. I don't really care, it doesn't matter. It's not a necessity now, but since the carpet is out and that's something that I would have wanted in the future, I just went ahead and I did it now. So now that this is done, I can start, like I said, tidying up the rest. So what I really need to do, like I said earlier, is I need to start tidying up all the wiring everywhere. That way she's situated on the wiring aspect, and then I really have to start doing the brake lines. So I got the whole proportion valve line lock set up down there still, and I just really have to get done. I did, however, go to the store today, and I did get I did get a roll of the copper line, so I should have enough material to finish that. So little progress today, nothing extensive, but I gotta keep chipping away at it. Eventually I'm gonna drive this damn car. So quick little update for you guys. I will catch you tomorrow. All right, so I recorded this data log earlier when the car was running. I know it's a little bit darker now so you can see it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the data log way over here, and I'm gonna actually hit play log. There's a play log option right up there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on this area. So we don't care what gear it is. So right now you can see the RPM, and then you can see right here where the front is the reference and the rear is the traction. So let's go ahead and play the log. So right here, I think the car is off. I go fire the car up. It's kind of at a high idle, and then it settles back down to about 900. So this is actually a neutral. There's a what they call band drag. So now the e-brake's up. I go ahead and put it in first gear. I drop the e-brake about 9 mile an hour. I click it in high gear about now. And then you can see on the map, I'm out here now. And then I actually go, and you can see right here at the front wheel speed, I actually go to the front of the car and start spinning the hub as fast as I could. So I just wanted to verify that my rear and my fronts were working. So based off this data log, you can see here, I have readings on everything. And the cool part about this, like I mentioned just a second ago, is it actually tells me my slip percentages between front and rear wheel. So you'll see like the speed difference, and then you'll see the slip rate. So it's kind of neat. This is going to be super beneficial when it comes to illegal street racing.